guys? Welcome to another episode of Chunk Chaser. So today is not a fishing video, it is more of a how-to video. I guess all my videos are how-to, but what I'm doing today is I'm going to go over my rod setup I have currently, and I'm going to change pretty much everything. The reason being is because I would like to make my fishing more successful, and doing so I want to have better hookup ratios and better chances of keeping fish pinned. And how I'm going to do that is pair certain reels with certain rods in order to do that. So first I'm going to cover what my setup is now, and then I'm going to come back and show you guys what I did differently and why I did it differently. So first off, let's start by showing you my setups. So right here I have, the rod is a St. Croix Avidex. It is a 7-foot medium heavy fast action rod. Now, fast action, for those of you who don't know, is the way the rod bends and how fast it bends. So being fast, it means that only the tip of the rod is going to bend, and it's going to come back to a straight up and down very quickly. So as you can see, it's only the tip that's bending that comes back very quickly. So I'll do it again for you guys. I'll show you on all the rods, just like that. Very quickly, it's only the tip that's bending. Now the reel I have paired up with the St. Croix, the 7-foot medium heavy fast action. Medium heavy is also kind of goes along with the how fast it comes back. It's got some backbone, but it's only bending in the tip. And the reel I have paired up with it is a Shimano Sitica, a very nice reel. It is a 7:2 to 1 gear ratio. Now a gear ratio, what that tells you is how much line you're pulling in and how quickly. And for what the number means, this one in particular is 7:2 to 1, is that it is how many times your actual spool is spinning per full rotation of your reel. So for instance, this is a 7:2 to 1 gear ratio, and for every full turn I'm taking, my spool will spin and pull in that line. It'll spin 7.2 times essentially, so that means 7.2 per one rotation. So if you didn't know that, now you do. It's very helpful, and in a different video I'll get into more in depth on what lures to use for with certain gear ratios and rods and all that good stuff. So this is a good rod, very nice one. I'm going to go over the next one now. This is kind of my older junk rod. Not necessarily junk, it's just old and beat up. The reel is a old Bass Pro Qualifier reel, the silver edition. The gear ratio is 6:4 to 1. Now it's a little bit slower, so this time for every full rotation the spool is only spinning 6.4 times, so it's a little bit slower. Therefore it's going to take you a couple more cranks to get that bait in. And the reel I have on this one is the rod I have on this one is an Abu Garcia 7-foot medium heavy. It doesn't give you an action on here, but I would assume fast. It's a pretty hefty rod. It's not that long, but it's very dense. I believe it's made out of the carbon material. So as you can tell, I'll flick this one, only the tip of it's bending, so there's the medium heavy, and it's coming back very quickly. So I would just assume it's fast. So there's that one. And guys, don't worry about the baits I have set up on here. That's just what's tied on right now. Not going over that right now. So this next rod I have, rod and reel setup, is it's a Lew's speed spool reel and a Lew's speed spool rod. So first off, the reel is a 7:1 to 1 gear ratio, so it's another pretty quick one. So one more time, the spool spins 7.1 times for every full rotation of the handle of the crank. And the rod, I believe, the rod is a 610 medium heavy fast action rod. Now you may ask me why I have so many medium heavy fast action rods. Well, the rods do differ, believe it or not, to a small degree, and me being a broke college kid, I can't afford as much as I would like to, but as you can tell, This one's a medium heavy, but it has a little bit more of a flex to it, a little bit more of a bend down the rod. It's a little bit easier going. It still comes back pretty fast, but not as fast, and it bends a little bit more, even though it is a medium heavy. Now that may be because it's 2 inches shorter, it's a 610. I'm not quite sure, but I think that just has to do with the company and how they make it. So my final rod, it's not my best rod. It's kind of my super crappy rod, but it's my spinning setup. This is a spinning reel. It's a Shimano Sienna. It's super old. It's like a $40 reel, but it lasts you forever. And actually, it's finally going out on me. This rod and reel setup's about 10 years old. Basically the rod is a 6'6" medium action rod. Now the medium, let me give myself some slack here. The medium has a little bit more bend throughout the rod, and it comes back a little bit slower. It's not a fast action. It's more of a medium, and it's a medium rod. So as you guys can tell, it bends a little bit more throughout the whole rod rather than just at the tip. Whereas the other ones were just bending kind of at the tip. But when the tip comes down, it all starts bending. And this rod has some real flex to it. I can't do too much right now, and I don't want to snap anything. But it's a real old rod. But now what the medium action would be good for is something like Finesse Tactic. But that's another video. I'm not going to get into it right now. So basically, guys, that's my current setup. Now I'm going to go change everything and do kind of a switcheroo and put all the reels on different rods. I actually have another rod, and I'm going to get back to you and tell you what I changed and why I changed it. Alright guys, what's going on? We're back. I changed up what I needed to change up, so right now I'm going to go over with you what I did and why I did it. So, to start off, my spinning setup with my cheap Shakespeare Ugly Stick and my cheap Sienna that go through anything, I kept the same. Don't ask me why I have a spinner on it. We're not talking about that. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just kidding. I know what I'm doing. But the reason I didn't change it is because it's old. It's old and it's kind of my only spinning setup. I do have other rods that I could use for it, but the Ugly Stick's been holding up for over 10 years now, so I just kept it on. It's the travel one, so you can take it apart. I'm sure we've all had moments where we go to cast and it launches into the water. But, you know, it's been holding up. Caught some 15-pound catfish on it and did fine. But a good thing about a spinning reel is that it's a great starter setup. I'm pretty sure we all started on spinning reels before we started with baitcast reels. It's really a good all-over technique, but what I would use it for mostly if you're more of an experienced fisherman, because they come mostly with medium action reels, or medium rods, sorry, is more finesse. You can get away, like I have a spinner on here, you can get away with something like that, but it's not gonna help you with setting the hook and whatnot. But moving on, I didn't change anything with that. Next, what I have here is I'm gonna call this my cranking setup, and some moving baits. Now, the reason I call it my cranking setup is because I have my Bass Pro Qualifier Silver Series rod or reel, and it's the 6:4 to 1 gear ratio. It's a little bit slower. The reason you want a slower reel when you're cranking and such is because the treble hooks get a little funky. You can change them out, you can add a little bit of weight to it and whatnot to change what your personal preferences are, but the hooks, any hook you go with is going to be a little bit finicky. You would think the more hooks you have, the easier it is to hook a fish, but not necessarily. And why that is because they're a little bit smaller, and when the fish hit it, the hooks can come out right after they hit it, or when you're reeling them in and they shoot another direction and you get some slack in your line, and that's when they can pop off because those hooks might pop right out. And now the reason I'm talking about the hooks and how it can pop out is not because of the reel, but because of the rod. Now I know this is a 610 medium heavy fast action rod, but it has more of a moderate action than fast action because it doesn't come back as fast as the other ones do, and it has a little bit more bend throughout. It almost is like a medium rod. So yeah, I know it's not, but compared to my other ones, this has the most flexibility to it. And what that's going to do is allow is to kind of catch up with those fish a little bit better and not snap when the line is slacked. It's not going to snap back to the straight position as fast. Therefore, in hopes, keeping the fish hooked on. So that's my that's my cranking setup, and that is why I changed to that. So my next one is I took the Lew's off the Lew's rod and put the Lew's on the St. Croix Avidex. Now this is kind of going to be my all-over rod. I can kind of do anything with this. I mean, but what I'm going to stick to mostly is kind of Texas rigs and a little bit lighter moving baits and stuff like that, like maybe lighter swim baits. You know, I can mess around with this. This is my over rod. I'm not too worried about it. I can, you know, it's a medium heavy, and I know most of these are, but this is a good one for, as I've experienced, doing kind of whatever with. So this is going to be interesting. A little bit new reel on here, just a little different. But my biggest change is I have a flipping and pitching rod now. This is a heavy duty rod. I don't think this is a Bass Pro Shop rod. They don't make it anymore. My good friend's dad actually just gave this to me, and it is a Bass Pro Extra Heavy Signature Series. It's by Pete Mena. They don't even make it anymore. It's an IM6 graphite rod. It's 8 foot. This thing is a heavy duty rod, extra heavy. They don't give you an action. I'm assuming fast. I'm not quite sure. I'm pretty sure it's fast, but there isn't much bend to this bad boy at all. It bends a little bit in the tip, so. But wow, this thing is just a flippin' stick if I ever seen one. So what I'm going to use this for is jigs, basically jigs and heavy cover stuff, and top water when summer comes around. Now on here I put new line on. I put 20-pound fluorocarbon. That's not the best for what I'm doing with this rod, but it's the heaviest line I have right now. I ran out of braid and stuff like that. So when summer comes around, I'm going to focus more on top water. I'm probably going to go get braid, probably 50-pound braid, put the braid on and tie a liter of fluorocarbon on there, probably about 20 pounds, and that'll give it a little bit of stretch and help hide the line a little bit in the water. So that's about it, guys. That's what I did. I changed all these up in order to improve my efficiency and improve my hookup ratios and not losing fish while reeling them in. It's pretty simple. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Like always, tell me what I can improve on, and just wanted to say thank you guys for all the support you've been giving me. If you don't already, go follow me on Instagram, and if you don't already, subscribe to me, please. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Keep fishing.